Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we have another non-meta versus meta matchup. It's going to feature Reiju versus BY Luffy. I think this matchup actually is pretty heavily BY Luffy favored, just because Reiju needing to dawn down so much. I'm not sure if she has the tools or even the dawn to swing super heavy into BY Luffy once he's pumped up. So let's see how this Reiju does against the BY Luffy. Interesting choice to play the Sanji the first turn, just because her being down dawn so early means that she won't be able to play like obviously Judge until much later. But he does opt to keep dawning down. I think his game plan was to try to find combo pieces as much as possible or as soon as possible in order to rush the BY Luffy down. But next turn at 3 dawn would be a perfect opportunity to play the Porsche into HEG combo if he does have it. But he is ditching a lot of adult HEGs to the trash here, so if he does have the baby HEGs, he definitely will be able to combo off really hard this turn. But him thinking about his turn makes me think that he doesn't have the combo pieces in order to pressure the Luffy here. So it's kind of tough. Sometimes it happens where Reiju draws a ton but just not able to find the right pieces to get her engine going. But BY Luffy already down to 1 health. Not sure if he's too afraid here, just because Reiju only being at 3 dawn means that the highest swing that she could possibly do next turn is just a 10k swing, which is not too threatening for the BY Luffy here. So he swings in 9 at life. The Reiju probably has the resources to counter this out, and I think that's exactly what he's gonna do. Yeah, just having so much draw power early on means that he has plenty of counter to work with in the early stages of the game. But with 5 dawn to work with, looks like he pitches a Porsche here, finally finding that HEG baby. Reiju probably going to play him, or I guess he doesn't here. I think that's a slight mistake on his part, just because BY Luffy does fold to really heavy early pressure, and the Reiju just taking her time and building up resources definitely isn't going to work against BY Luffy, especially when he is able to pump up to 9,000. She definitely doesn't have enough dawn to work with in order to pressure him, even with HEGs at this point. So here we see the BY Luffy player already comboing off, which is bad news for the Reiju. It would have been optimal last turn to try to pressure some of the cards out of his hand, but looks like BY Luffy made it to his top end, and this is where things start looking bad for Reiju in general. So Reiju actually whiffing the stage is a bit crazy. Probably saw 3 Foxy Pirates in his search and not able to pick up anything there. He is able to get off a pudding, which is really powerful against BY Luffy, especially seeing that he ripped 2 Flampeys and Chase actually hits Jason with the BM cut and putting 1 Gecko at the bottom of his life, or the bottom of his deck there. So for the rest of his turn, he only has 1 Dawn to work with. Just ends up passing here just because with the leader pumped up to 9, Reiju definitely doesn't have any bodies large enough to swing in just yet. So Luffy with the pumped up effect is able to swing in for 8, and then Sabo swinging in for 6. So I think at this point, Jason's deciding to start pushing in for lethal. Probably not this turn, but he is setting up for future turns to pressure Chase to try to end it as soon as he can. Pumping his leader up to 9k once again, and then putting down the Ivankov blocker alongside the Sabo there. I would just say a slight sequencing error on Jason's part. I think he could have just played the Ivankov before the Sabo came down, just so he could protect her from any KO effects that Reiju may have. So here with Ichiji coming down, I think at this point it's just too little too late, because at only 7k it would be really optimal to spam him as early as possible. And with Ichiji being a 7k body, he's probably only gonna be able to swing once at lead here. So Jason definitely has the counter for it. He has 2 2Ks, doesn't have to even invest any of his blockers, and that's that for game 1. So Jason being able to take it 1-0 so far. Let's see if Chase is able to come back in game 2. So obviously Reiju's game plan is the same as it would be against any other deck. It's just unfortunate. It looks like he only found the Ichiji when Jason was already around 8 Dawn, so not being able to have the crazy Porsche into Ichiji play early on really hurts the Reiju in this matchup, because BY Luffy does fold to a deck going super wide, and obviously last match Chase didn't find the pieces to be able to do that. So Reiju just doing Reiju things. I think it's really cool that she's able to draw so much. Being able to draw 3 in 1 turn is just absolutely crazy to me. But Jason answers with a Flampe. Flampe being such a powerful card in the BY Luffy decks, being able to rip your own life and also drawing a card because of it means that BY Luffy is just getting free resources and speeding up his game plan. So here with only 3 Dawn to work with. Chase actually opts to play the little Sanji here to draw 2, and then probably, oh, he actually plays the Tony Chopper blocker. I think that card is pretty interesting. I think it's played just for the Porsche search, just so she has a chance of finding something off of the search effect. I think probably the only hits in the deck are the Tony Choppers and the new OP07 Sanjis that just came out. So another Flampe coming down and a Garp to find a Sabo means that Jason is loaded with resources at this point. And I think if Chase can whip up another pudding, it would be absolutely devastating to the BY Luffy here. So he tapped 3 Dawn, playing the Porsche down. Obviously not seeing the pudding. I think this would have been a really good turn to start pressuring life a little bit and then ripping the pudding. But looks like he didn't have it. Actually just has the Porsche into Reiju play here. But putting the BY Luffy at 0 already means that he really needs to start comboing off and investing resources to protect his life here. BY Luffy only being at 7 Dawn means that he has to wait at least 2 more turns before he can full combo with Gecko Moria. But he does have the resources to hard cast the babies in his hand, and being able to put down a Rush Ace and a Sabo means that he is more than safe from any crackbacks Reiju has at this point. Just because Reiju's board is definitely wide, but the characters on board definitely aren't tall enough to threaten the BY Luffy here. And Reiju with only 6 Dawn to work with. Let's see if he has any Ichijis to work with. Looks like 2 games in a row he's not able to find his Ichiji Porsche combo, which is really unfortunate for the Reiju. But he is able to find it this game. It's just really tough at this point, just because the Luffy's already pumped up to 9, so it's really hard to pressure him here. So Ichiji, I believe, reduces the ace, reduces the ace's power, and then he swings super heavy into it. I'm not sure why he didn't commit his leader to have 2 swings into the ace, but really questionable there, unless I am mistaking Ichiji for another Reiju character or a Vinsmoke character. But going into Jason's turn, he does find the Space Luffy, being able to pop the Tony Chopper blocker, and all he has to do is survive for 1 more turn before he can make his Gecko plays. And so here I think he's just healing, yeah, he's just healing up to 2 so that he is safe from any crackbacks. The leader is now at 5, so if Chase had the counter to protect his Ichiji, I think last turn definitely would have been the turn to do it. Just because with Luffy at 5,000 power, it's really easy to pressure him here. But I think even with the Ichiji on board, the most he could have pressured was the Sabo blocker. Looks like Jason just had too much counter accrued from the earlier stages of the game. Yeah, so I think here he doesn't want to risk it, and so he just makes the standard Gecko play, swinging in with the ace before putting down the Gecko. Really good sequencing there so that he could revive another ace to get one more swing at the Reiju here. But yeah, Reiju having a pretty large stack means that she won't be dead just yet, but BY Luffy definitely in a commanding spot to take this 2-0. Yeah, with 2 Sabo blockers up, I think Jason also has 3 cards left in his hand. I'm not really sure at this point if Reiju has the tools to get out of this one here. Just because I think the only blockers she runs is the Tony Chopper and also the 3 or 6 drop Sanji blocker. So here he does get to remove the ace on board, so that gets rid of one more swing, but I'm not sure if that's enough, just because Chase did have to commit a lot of his board. But yeah, he had some counter to work with, but I think he just scooped it up here just because Jason's board was way too wide to counter out. So yeah, BY Luffy takes it 2-0. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.